visited some friends from North Korea, South Korea, and they call you by, by your first name. I remember when I went for my traditional wedding, I went with the intention to show great respect as a Yoruba person and honor the people, because the highest type of honor you can give to your in-law in my place is you have to prostrate and your chest will touch the ground. It's not even like a press up that you just I mean your chest must touch the ground. And so when I got to my in-laws place and the elders were sitting down and I went in and I was going on the ground and my father-in-law shouted, "Stop!" And I was afraid. I said, "What happened? Is this man angry?" He said, "We don't bow to anybody except God."
That's it.
He said, "Bring me your hand." And he shook my hand and almost broke my hand. And I said, "Oh, if you try this in my place, they will cancel the marriage or pause the marriage and do a meeting." So I understand what you are saying. The cultural setting is very strong. But then let's go back to where we started from. This broken plate. Marriage is getting broken. Marriage is not going well. Do we play the blame game and look for who to blame? Do we blame the devil? Do we blame the church? Do we blame the society? Do we blame family? There's a blame game going on. Every time the plate is broken, there's a blame game. Who broke the plate? It's usually the first question. People don't even ask if the plate is weak, if the plate is carrying so much weight that it has broken. The first question is always like a blame game. Who broke this plate? So would you want to go through the route? The audience, please, you are free to type your question, send in your question. Like I said, this is a marriage series, and we are not here to preach. We are just sharing our thoughts together. So you can send your questions, and we can look at it. Yes.
Anytime marriage, the plate breaks, most of the time, it's not one man alone. It's not one woman alone. You can't blame anybody. Two of them has, just like we're talking about this tolerance. My mother used to tell me that each time you see friendship, somebody is loving more than the other one. Is that not so? Somebody is visiting. There are some people who visit. One elderly man, I said, "I'm the one coming here." You know what he told me? He said, the young go to the elderly. You don't expect an elderly man to visit you. You should be visiting. Is that not so? That is how they see it. It's the young that look for the elderly. So anytime things break down and one man is giving you an impression that he's an angel, it's not true. By the time you listen to two of them, you will know that they all make contribution to get this plate broken. As you are getting married, your room is still reserved. If you didn't come back, didn't work, you come back and they receive you. Didn't work, you come back and they receive you. You understand? Some people don't even intend to marry you for very too long. There are things like, so when you are going, you see such people that no deep respect. But when you see your father-in-law, he has deep respect. But when you see your father-in-law, he has lived with your mother-in-law for 40. You see the uncle, he has lived with his wife for 50 years. You see another person. When my junior brother was getting married, I said, look at our uncles here. This one have been married for 50 years. This one have been married for 45 years. I've been married for this. I've been married for so number of years. So you are blessed. You are coming to a place where they value relationship. And this relationship, they see it as a lifetime thing. Then there are cultural differences. In fact, in my village, they do investigation.
Spiritual investigation or
physical.
Intellectual?
Physical.
All right.
There are some families that after 40 years, their teeth will fall off.
Wow. I'm just hearing that for the first time.
There are some families that once in a while, somebody will get mad.
Yes, I've heard that.
There are some families that are poor, but they have plenty children. There are some families that they don't have more than one. after a long
so
time.
if someone is getting
So
into marriage, do you think one has to take all this into consideration?
In my place, they call it waro here, waroza. They will go and make investigation.
So where is the place of faith?
The place of faith is there if you are convinced. Like now, if somebody has HIV and you want to marry the person, you understand? Now, they will all go to test. You understand? The pastor will collect the test. I say, this is the situation of things. Are you ready to marry? Okay. If you have enough faith, you can go on.
So it's good that you do a little bit of investigation and then you can now deploy your faith and say, okay, this is the challenge, but I can conquer it.
If after the investigation and you are not persuaded, you chicken out. You see, these people, they don't. I have a son in the church. He saw one beautiful sister and went to marry her. Then his uncle, his senior brother, who is like their father, said, okay, let me know the family. He went and did the investigation. And he came back and said, that family, they are in loggerhead. Going to court. They don't greet themselves. They are big enemies. You know, family feud can be very serious. Yeah. Look at how Esau wanted to kill Jacob. This one doesn't see eye to eye with this one. This one doesn't see eye to eye. He said, you can't marry from that family. In my village, before a young lady will marry, if you want to marry, you will come and stay with your mother-in-law maybe a week or two.
What is that for? If you stay with your mother-in-law, if you have the art to come and stay and pretend,
that's a limit.
Is 1 week enough to understudy something?
That's their own for 2 weeks.
But if they have practiced it for some time and it has worked for them,
it has worked for them.
Believe you.
You know those women, if a woman is pretending, they know. In the morning, you sweep the compound, you go to stream, you plait your mother-in-law hair, you love your mother-in-law. You know, you serve, they see you. One lady went to marry. As soon as he entered, that morning she woke up, took the broom, swept the whole compound. You know, these houses are just facing themselves like this with a big courtyard like that. So when he finished, he went to stream. He was greeting everybody. Oh, they were just loving her. Then the mother-in-law called her inside. I said, you see this one? Don't sweep her side. This one, don't greet her. This one, don't do this. You see, people don't know all these things. By the time you just marry in the town, or you now go to such places, you know, when there is that feud and misunderstanding, that's every evil work. You understand? It's a different thing that when you go to a loving place, this auntie love you, this mama love you, this one is as good, you know. So this is why so many marriages have problems. Supposing an innocent girl goes there and says, Mama, you can't stop me from this an elderly woman. I can't leave her compound like that. He said, don't sweep that place. And you go and sweep it. You are in trouble already. And somehow, the kind of wickedness that happens in such a place, every evil work is there. It will affect you.
Okay, what about the era we are in now? When parents have their choice of who their children should marry for certain reasons that they are convinced of, like spiritual reasons, like cultural reasons you are talking about, all right? Like traditional reasons, and the children are not convinced, and they believe that, look, the era we are living in is the era of the spirit. They are matured enough to take their own decision by themselves, and if for any reason the children prevail and they get married and there is a broken plate, then the parents said they didn't listen. If the parent prevailed and the children gets married and there's a broken plate, and then the children said, oh, they forced us into this. How do you reconcile these two together?
When the plate is broken, somebody will have to suffer it.
But we are talking about what led to it now. We are still looking at the blame game, all right? Now, I mean, we have had situations where parents are convinced for certain reasons that you cannot marry this person, all right? Maybe after spiritual consultation, after praying, or after family consultation, and the children are convinced
They will suffer
they
it.
want to go ahead.
They will suffer it. My uncle is a good example.
Okay.
There was one guy, he has a boss, he does this, he wanted to marry the girl. The girl is educated, she went to school of nursing. My uncle sized up the guy. And he said, you can't marry this person. You guys are not in the same level. He told me that when the man is coming, from that side, we start hearing the noise in his car, in his bus. Boo, boo, boo. The music. He just sized up the man. Having lived his life, he said, this guy is not responsible. The guy said it's the guy he will marry. He left him 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. You giving up that guy. That guy is responsible. You will suffer. The girl insisted. He said, well, since you said if you don't marry him, you will not marry anybody. My senior brother and my immediate senior brother, they are all alive. Go to them to marry you out. My hand no day. That was what my uncle did, Uncle Ben. Her daughter went, the senior brother now called the guy. I said, since you are insisting, your father has refused, but we are also your father. We will give you.
So did they marry her out?
They married her out. That marriage is full of crisis.
But the father, is he still alive? What does the father say?
The father said, you got what you want. You got what you want.
So, but what about his family relative who gave the girl out in marriage? Because culturally, they also have a right.
I was in a church where somebody has HIV. And they said, well, you can't marry this person. He said he wants to marry the person. Are you sure what you are saying? He said, yes. Well, you signed.
And he signed?
He signed.
Okay.
That he will manage the issue. That he love this man badly. And they married.
And they are doing fine today?
I don't know where they are.
Well, I've witnessed a scenario before because a pastor too called me one time and they said, look, I need a counselor. And I said, what is it? It's still the same HIV issue. And I said, but HIV is just like any other sickness. HIV can be managed. And so what I told him is that they should sign, but call a medical doctor to advise them and tell them the pros and cons, what they need to do. Since they're very fine, excellently fine. They took to the counsel of the doctor, and the doctor said it's not a do or die issue. If they believe and they have the faith, they are Christian to continue. But I've also seen cases where marriages have been cancelled because of that. So this is another area. Again, would you recommend that where there are issues like this that has to do with health issue, like blood genotype, should the couple go ahead knowing the consequences?
If the couples are mature enough and they accept responsibility and you get them to commit themselves, that they are not being deceived, they are not being cajoled, they can go ahead. When the problem comes, they will endure it. For instance, I know some people, the lady has had 1 child or 2 out of wedlock. And they feel convinced they want to marry. I said, I will not marry that kind of woman. What do you want me to say? I said, I will be a young girl, a damsel, not with plenty, excess luggages. But he said, but he's convinced he loved the girl. Marry the girl like that. And they lived happily. There are rare cases like that. There are people who are deceived. Outright deception. The man is sick, but he hid it from the woman. Along the way, they now deceive. When somebody is deceived, it's a serious case.
Even if he has reasons to hide the sickness.
It might not be sickness. Some people are like, they didn't come real to you.
marriage.
A marriage. When you went to marry your wife, you saw the father, you saw the brother, you saw the sister. Some people are not real. They will deceive a young lady. Even the car key they are holding is not their own. The house they said is their own is not their own.
But some have said the lady pushed the man into producing that type of scenario. It's called acting before marriage. Maybe the lady has that type of wide appetite. And as a pastor, I've met ladies who have told me, you know, I was talking to some young people today in the church, and I've met ladies who have told me, at the beginning I didn't understand what they were saying. A lady told me, I said, I cannot marry anybody with 2 legs. If you don't have 4 legs, I cannot marry you. Mm-hmm. So I was then very young as a young pastor, just graduated from school, entered into ministry. So I went to ask, what's the meaning of 4 legs? That was when I got to know that 4 legs means that the man must have a car before getting married. So if a lady is putting this type of front up, don't you think this can push a man to act?
Okay.
But that's not acting, where somebody has to borrow a car. In fact, I've seen somebody who borrowed both car, house, and clothes to go and propose. And the lady said yes. And everything was borrowed.
That one is deception. They deceive. I know of one young graduate. He finished from school. He saw a girl. He says the will of God. The girl loved him. They wanted to go home. And the guy has not gotten a good job. And he was just scratching some private. Then the girl came back and said, look, my parents will not want you to marry me. I know this is the will of God. I said, why? They can't imagine a man coming to marry me, stop at the motor park, then take keke and came to my father's house.
Oh my God.
In that place, they are very materialistic.
Sorry, when you got married, did you have 4 legs or 2 legs?
I have 2 legs.
I have 2 legs too.
I have 2 legs. You see, I've come to discover that there are good people everywhere. My wife, Gino brother, married from Fulani lady. The father is a cactus in the Roman Catholic Church. Very disciplined, fine people. In the north here, I've discovered some. You are marrying from a family. Look at the family. If they are good people and they receive you with love, they love you, you will enjoy the marriage. You can't really account for a tribe. There are places where when my father-in-law was a military man, he traveled around the country, serving Nigeria. Then he called all the children and said, you see this place, don't marry from there. I thought, this man, I think you are a Christian now. Which one you did? One of his sons, who is a doctor, wanted to marry from there. Then the father said, I still stand on what I'm standing. Don't marry from there. He didn't marry from there. Then there was one other one that insisted he would marry one girl. The Baba refused. After some time, the girl got pregnant and dropped a baby. Dropped the second one. Then Baba was forced now. Baba now went and gave them permissive will. Do you know that young man is dead now?
Wow. So do you think that's what killed the young man?
I strongly believe. If you look at the woman, you'll know.
Wow. All right. I think we'll take a break of 2 minutes and we will get back to you. So let's take a break, please. We've not really had people setting. A number of people are online, but I think they are just enjoying our gist rather than contributing, asking questions. So let's take a break. Media, we're on break now. All right, you're welcome back. You're welcome back. The Broken Plate. With me is Pastor Chijioke, a very good friend, a veteran. We are going to be rounding up, but before we close, let me ask the question about the issue of doctrine, church doctrine, which has also become, even though the whole issue of church doctrine is easing out now, it used to be a very complicated problem those days. If you're an Anglican, you cannot marry a Roman Catholic. If you're an Anglican, you can't marry a Pentecostal. And then within the Pentecostal cycle also, if you are from this place, you cannot marry this place. And some women have gone through that as a crisis, and some men too who have married. But do you really think that doctrine should play any issue in marriage? Or rather, it should just be Christ?
There are level of maturity. When you are mature and you are exposed, you see things well. Maybe you gave your life to Christ as a young man. You grew through school. You're in the secondary school fellowship. In the fellowship, you have all kinds of people. Anglican, Pentecostal, deeper life in the church fellowship, in the school fellowship. It's not now that deeper life will carve their own. Winners will carve their own. Love World will carve their own. Before we were all together. And amidst us, you see genuinely born again. And over time, they have grown spiritually. Can marry them. Initially, they might say, this man is like this man. After some time, they will begin to see the good in that person. And then when you now go to university, you now see people. Good people are good people anywhere.
But don't you think that those who have doctrinal basis may have certain reasons why they feel it's safer to marry from our spiritual culture, having over the years, and the young man wakes up one day and is going outside the doctrine to marry another person. And for people who have this type of belief, they believe that this is what makes marriages work.
Tier matters. There are weightier matters. There are matters that are not weighty. In the PFN, you know there are different doctrines. Some women will cover their hair, some don't cover their hair. And in some places, it's a very big issue. But when you look at it, you see, it's not a weighty matter. There are anything goes. But there are some places where they are more disciplined. So sometimes when you want to move into those lousy people who, you can see that a lot of things are going on. They don't emphasize on discipline. And that is where I don't like. There are some set of Christians I will not even want to marry from there.
What set of Christians?
Christians that don't have boundaries. They are too free to do anything.
So do you consider a man beating his wife as part of discipline? Because we have seen young men and old men who have maintained that as part of their responsibility. The man is a priest, the man is a father, the man is a husband, this multi-functional dimension of a man. And the man also sees himself as a teacher and has to beat the wife to submission and correction.
That doctrine is not of God.
Why do you think it's not of God?
It's not of God. God didn't say you should beat anybody. Submit to each other.
But the Bible says correct. What if they beat in love?
There's nothing like beating in love.
So there's nothing like beating in love. You can't beat in love.
Although there are
so what would you say to men who beat their wife and they consider it as part of their responsibility? It's a discipline. They feel that they have been called to discipline the man. And what if there are churches who encourages that type of discipline?
I don't know whether there are churches that do that, but I know some people are very firm.
So you want to define firmness as discipline, or you want to separate firmness from discipline? Because this is a live show.
Some people are firm. Some people are firm. Some people are not.
What do you consider as being firm?
I have somebody that helped me to repair my lights in the house. I discovered that the children are very disciplined. When each time I go to call him in his house, the children are inside. They hardly go out.
So do you consider the children going out as not being disciplined and those inside as being disciplined?
Let me tell you what he told me. He said, if I enter my house and my children are sitting in the sitting room and put their leg on the center table, you understand? And I enter, they didn't remove the leg. He said I should know that I didn't train the children well. You know, there's some daddies when they come, people run on daddy. And the daughter went to serve in Enugu. Emeka, I respect him. So they posted her to one Roman Catholic school. She did very well. The day they were passing out, the headmistress, the nun, called her and said, come, who is your father? He said, we have been having coppers. We have not seen somebody like you. I want to tell you that this school has offered you employment. Wow. They gave her a letter. They have informed that your father will want to know they have trained you very well. You know, I was preaching in Chapel of Grace here. The moment it was 7:30, some two boys like twins stood up and they were going out. Wow. I said, why are those guys? They have not finished. We are going to finish. Oh yeah, drink. And they said, sir, we respect you.
But
that's discipline. So I've been to a house where both parents, they literally go naked in the house. You understand? In the family house, NCCF family house here, you don't wear short and be roaming about in the family house or singlet.
Even till now.
Even now. Even now.
Okay.
Some families are very playful. Like if you come to my house, we play, we do all kinds of things, we laugh a lot.
But don't you think that's a good environment?
It's a good environment. Another guy, when he was in University of Ibadan, one weekend like that, one Baba came with his Benz, with his Agbada. The two sons came and lied down on the ground, worship him, greet him, he touched them, their head, and gave them money.
Well, in our place, they don't call it worship, they call it honor.
So when the man just left, the boys were still standing there. One other guy came with his Benz from one part of Nigeria. When he entered, he just parked. He hugged his son, lifted him up. Lifted him up. They shake hands and talked and put their mat and serve food. The father was serving the boy every day, ate together. And the father went back and said, okay, drive us, let's go to town and come back. So the other guy that, you know, he was just looking, admiring them. You understand? He wished.
Did you ask him, or you assume he wished?
Who would like that kind of...
I grew up like that, and I saw it as discipline. I never wished something more than that, sincerely, because my father comes back and he said, look, this is the culture. When he was alive, he said, this is our culture. And a few times I've traveled, that has earned me some little gifts. Because he said, once we get from afar.
Since you have embraced it, things are changing. Yeah. In America, you can imagine you marry a white lady. And then At the end of the, you people are hustling, working, she's working, you are working. And then the son of your auntie, the father is alive, the mother is alive. The father has gone to marry 2 wives. Now your responsibility to pay school fees. You know the way the white girl will say it? He say, who is this person? He say, he's the son of my mother's brother. Okay? You don't call him your brother. It's a near relative. As long as it's not your mother that gave birth to that one. He says, is it your mother that gave birth to this person you are paying school fees? He says, it's not.